Hello, and welcome to episode 1 of Bioenergetic Soul Body Systems Integration Series. If you watched my introductory video giving a little bit of my background, you know that I spent my adult life working in the fitness and wellness industry, and really have a deep, profound love for these human bodies that we occupy. And the reason that I've been guided to do this video series and to assist in this way is because there is a mind virus of body dysmorphia, body shame, body hatred, wanting to check out of the body, not wanting to be grounded in the body, that really runs through all of humanity. It's not something that is just unique to one specific level of people that have awakened, or, you know, the spiritual community, the New Age community. It's everyone, because we can all see that there really is a force that has infiltrated this planet, this reality, that just hates, despises humanity, and really wants to tear humanity down, which begs the question, why? Why do you feel that way towards humanity? You know, if we weren't a threat, if we weren't meant to be beautifully powerful beings emanating source and creating in this world, why would they work so hard to suppress us and these bodies, everything that they can do? So it is my understanding, my belief, and my teachings from my guidance that what is called the false matrix in the New Age community is literally an epigenetic program. It's multiple epigenetic programs all running congruently to attack and affect everything mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and physically, to really keep a suppression. And the worst thing about it is, well, obviously it's worked, but the worst thing about it is that it really it's been effective in separating people from the joy of living, the joy of being here in these bodies. And our bodies are part of this planet. And so whatever we do to our bodies, how we treat our bodies, and I'm not saying this as an accusation, because you don't know what you don't know, and you're raised in a world where, you know, you're taught by parents, school, society, you know, trust the government, for example, and all of their agencies. And if they test food or, you know, additives, preservatives, and they say that it is okay to eat, then it must be okay to consume it. Why would they want to poison us? Why would they want to create all this toxicity? If you look around the world, you can see not only the attack on life at a planetary level, but the attack on life as this at the species level and the human level. And we are a species of this planet. You know, in this realm, on this world, all organic life shares the carbon atom, right? And we're made of these substances, these beautiful electrical and chemical reactions. And we're meant to have a nice harmonious balance so that we run the most efficiently and effectively. And every system has been infiltrated and attacked to keep us from being healthy and optimal. If you are somebody who maybe believes in or was raised in religion, and you've seen the stories, whether it's in the Bible, of, you know, people that lived for hundreds of years, if you really look around and you think about, and you can see the aging process and how it happens, and you think about how shortened the lifespans have been here, it really has made it hard to be effective for the lineages to share the stories, to pass them on. And so the attack on the body and the degrading of the cells and the cellular structure, as well as the planet, you can see it everywhere. There is an absolute disdain for life, for organic, pure life. And we know at the very root of all organic life, you know, before we come into form and we are matter, we are energy. And our bodies are designed to be electrical chemical receivers and processors of this energy, this divine source spark consciousness that flows through us, through the planet, and through every living and organic structure. So my first thing I would say is it's very interesting that there is this attack on, you know, we want less carbon, less carbon, less carbon, even though 78%, I believe it is, of our atmosphere is nitrogen. And they have everybody obsessed with this, thinking carbon is bad, when carbon is actually the foundation of all organic life. So what does that really tell you? What does that tell you? I will say I don't subscribe to some of the things that you hear in the New Age community, which are based in a lot of fluff. I know the science here has been hijacked, but there are some things that we really have to look at and have more of an objective viewpoint and be able to really discern and feel what is just kind of silliness. And there's this, oh, we're moving from a carbon base to a silica base. And people who say that don't even really mostly know the difference between carbon and silica, the structures, how the atoms, the molecules, the electrons, how they work. They don't have any type of chemistry or physics background. And so it's something that gets passed around. And why I think it's dangerous is because it has fed into this fantasy of, we're going to go silica, we're going to go light body, we're going to leave this physical plane and leave these physical bodies. And right now, in this process of the ascension, the awakening of the planet, we are very much still in a physical reality. We are in physical bodies. And it's silly to throw away the beauty of the physicality of being here in this 3D physical world and realm, and to not explore and appreciate the beauty that these bodies hold and fully learn what they are capable of. And in restoring ourselves, we assist in restoring the planet because we are all connected. It is all connected. It cannot be separated. So the reason I call it a mind virus is because there is such a dislike of being in a physical body. And of course, that would be very convenient, because if you don't like being in the body and you have a bad relationship with your body, how really truly effective as a creator being embodying that divine sourced Christed consciousness are you going to be in this world? We need to heal the physical realm. We need to heal that within ourselves and therefore heal it within the planet. And you can see it in so many places, from the ideologies that they give, you know, through celebrity, of this is the way a woman should look, this is the way a man should look, this is, you know, what's in fashion, how you should do your hair, what goes on here, what goes, you know, the trends, whatever, that you're never good enough, that you're trying to keep up aesthetically, that you are trying to have an ideology that pleases. And a lot of that has actually been very sexually distorted and perverted and so far removed from a beautiful organic state. If you feel beautiful by shaping your eyebrows, putting on some mascara, um, putting nice hair oils in your hair to make it smooth and shiny and smell good, and that makes you feel good, there's nothing wrong with that when it comes from a body care place of self-love. But it's been taught in a way that is, you're ashamed, or you don't feel good enough, or you're trying to have a certain look to be loved and accepted. And that is something that we have to get past. Body dysmorphia, not liking the shape of your body, the way your body looks. And again, I was in the fitness industry for all of my adult life, and I grew up dancing. And I even saw this when we hit puberty, and some of the girls really took on more curves. And, they were ballerinas, they were dancers that, wanted to be on point. And they started to fill out and get curvy, and how they would feel like they were never going to make it onto, they were never going to move up in the dancing world, and it wouldn't be a career, and it was their dream because their body wouldn't cooperate. And, it has been nice to see that over the years that has changed, but it's everywhere. And there's the beliefs that we are taught to hate our body, that it's just this thing running around, we're disconnected from it, it's toxic, it's disease, it's going to fail, all these systems that are in place to really make you believe, which is an epigenetic program, that they're weak, they're fragile, you should be afraid of them, it's unknown what is going to, oh my gosh. And you can really see it in what's happened in the last few years, where I watched as so many people went into fear about their body. I couldn't believe it. And I just observed, and I thought, I did not understand how much fear had been placed into the human genome until that happened. I recognized at the time, because I was very embodied at that point, enough so that it was very clear that when they kept talking about the Spanish flu of 1918 and comparing it to that, and how there's this, this epidemic and pandemic that comes around every 100 or so years, that this was an epigenetic program they had installed into the ancestry, into the DNA, into the planetary body, that pulled this fear up. And that was how they continued to feed the fear and run this program. And that was when I really first saw, so this is a total epigenetic program. And I really started to dissect and carefully look at all the things that were there. And I remember going into the store when the stores opened back up, and everybody was so happy to be out and talking to people. And I lived in Michigan when that happened. And Michigan was a very heavily, closed down state. And so people were very happy to be out and speaking with one another and socializing. And I was in a store, and I'm around the corner in an aisle. It was like a home goods and furniture store. So it's pretty quiet in there. And I hear a young woman telling some other women, well, my mom had such and such cancer, and, my aunt had it, and so I'm just bound to get it. And I thought, this is an epigenetic program. This is an epigenetic program right here. Because if you look at it, when you go to the doctors, right, they ask you for this health history. and you put down, they want to know what your mother and your father had. And then they take that and they say to you, oh, well, we should test you for this, and you're more prone to this. And you start thinking about it and pull that code, getting the genes to express that way. That's a very big one. And I've always had this, I'm not available for that. My mom's mother, my grandmother, that had a big part of raising me, especially when I was a young child, she would say, I'm not available for that. And that was something that she taught me. And I was never really sick very much in my life. And as I got older and I would feel a little bit run down or something, I would say, well, I'm not available for that. And it's funny, it worked. She would say, mind over matter, right? And that's such a funny phrase when you think about it. Mind over matter, matter as in like the physical body, being able to literally choose how you want your vessel to express, all part of, again, this epigenetics, right? The code that controls the code. And so if you really start to think about that and you look around the world, you look at your beliefs about your body, your family's beliefs, society's beliefs, and the mantras, you could say, the things you repeat constantly that you pick up, unaware, very unconscious, and start to believe about yourself, express, say about yourself. Whether it is something like, oh, well, I've always had trouble losing weight. You take these things on, you manifest them, you create them. The body's beautiful, it's conscious, it's full of life force. And whether you want to be separate and checked out and ungrounded from it, or get into it and really develop that symbiotic relationship at a very profound level, it's going to respond to whatever programs you have running. When I had my studio, I guess you could say my statement, right, was the body is a wonderful place to live. It's beautiful. It's so beautiful and so profound and so amazing. If you just think about all the systems and all the cells, the trillions of cells and the different systems and how they know what they're supposed to do, right? The cells for your skin are not the same as the cells in your stomach. All these different things that are working together, all these systems, our skeletal system, our blood, our lymphatic system, our digestive system, our cardiopulmonary system, our central nervous system, our fascial network through our entire body, all these carriers of life and how they all come together and work together, that alone is super amazing. And something that occurred to me many years ago, when I had my studio, because I'm a total, I will say it, I love to read, I love to research, and I'm a total science body nerd. And one of my aha moments was that all the cells in our body, right, they rejuvenate. It's like 6 weeks for skin, when you're this age, and 24 hours or whatever it is for the stomach. And so you're always like regrowing a new body. And they say every 7 years, you've regrown a whole new body. So if that's true, what are we feeding the cells? And what we feed the cells is how we regrow the body, right? So when we're children and we're little and we're fresh and we're full of elastin and collagen and life, right? We don't have a lot of this programming because like the death program hasn't been installed yet, right? Until we're confronted with it, we hear about it and learn what it is. We are just abundant little sources of pure life flowing through these abundant, healthy little bodies. And I know that, unfortunately, that is not always the case in this world, but in general, that is the idea, the concept of, you know, a young, healthy little body. And we grow, right? Just think about that process of how we come in organically, and then we grow up to be these humans, right? And all of the energetic and chemical reactions that have to happen, everything that has to be present for us to be fully grown adults. It's quite amazing. And all these systems, as we get older, we are taught this programming, this mind virus about not loving our body. You know, it starts when we are, from my own experience, I would say really starts when you hit that junior high puberty age, and the identities and how you look and what you're wearing and all these silly things start to really matter. And that is where we start to not feel good about ourselves, right? And it's subtle, but it's created that way. And so it just is running in everybody, and it just starts to take over. You know, for instance, I was very skinny growing up. And I remember when junior high hit, a lot of the girls started getting very curvy. And, you know, I danced, and so I was very lean. And I was just, I didn't, you know, I was what you would call a late bloomer, right? And so all these girls, you know, filling out, getting curvy, and the boys noticing them, and all this weird stuff that happens, right? That's so gross on so many levels and shouldn't be a thing. But you can really see that's when, you know, children, because you are still a child at that age, start to already develop this not feeling good or being judged by how they look, right? So it's just starts, and it starts to go and grow and explode forward from there. And then there's things like, you know, your family telling you, oh, well, you know, this is just how it is. And you inherited this from me, and you inherited this from me. And other than the genetic components of how I look, I don't believe and subscribe to, and I never have, that I inherited this condition or that condition from my parent, and I'm just going to turn out to be this way. So far, I have proven that that is not a thing. My mom's family, a large percentage of the people, diabetic and overweight. My mom, her sister, and her brother all died due to diabetic related illnesses. And my family would always say things to me like, oh, you need to fatten her up, give her a cheeseburger or whatever. And I always observed them and thought, no, I don't want to end up like this. I can see how you all huff and puff, you struggle with your weight. And I just chose that that was not going to be for me. And I wasn't going to listen, and I wasn't going to participate in that. I do take care of my body, but that's available to all of them. But they just settled in and believed that, oh, it just runs in the family, right? That expression, it just runs in the family. So I guess it's for me too. And it's not. And if you're here listening to this channel and you're awakened and you're on your healing and integration journey, you're the ones that came to hack through the epigenetic programs that are in your DNA. That's really what healing your ancestry and healing your bloodlines and your DNA is all about. You know, these programs of trauma and fear, they're emotional, mental, sexual, physical, you know, spiritual, all of it that's been plugged in, that not only you've picked up at a soul level, but that is in the genes, right? The cellular structure that you are inhabiting. So it's a big job. It's a lot, but I believe that it can be done and these bodies can be restored. Some of you may have heard about, bioregenesis and really regenerating these bodies. So when I started thinking about the cells in our bodies and what we feed them, this was over 10 years ago, what we feed our bodies, so that when we are going through, the cellular regeneration, that we are optimally regenerating a cellular structure. Why should we be aging? Well, the bodies are aging because it's a belief structure that's been put in. If you think about, if you are part of the mainstream medical system, you go to the doctor and they have age markers, right? Age markers for when this is supposed to happen and that's supposed to happen. And we give you tests for this and tests for that. And it's full of chemicals and invasiveness and everything else. Now, if we really had a good relationship with our bodies and we could intuitively trust and feel and love our bodies and we took care of our bodies, why would we need to go to the doctor and have routine tests? We would know. We would know if there was something that was off, and we would already be exploring our own holistic healing journey. We don't need to be told, oh, well, you're going to go get this test and we're going to do a scan and we're going to blah, 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 blah. And we know this to be true because there's always been stories about how somebody had, the big C word, for example, and they healed themselves versus somebody else who had the same type and, went into fear, filled their body with chemical treatments and ended up never recovering, right? So you can definitely find examples of the miraculous ability of healing, again, the mind over the matter, right? And further down the rabbit hole we go, you can feel it, that there's this desire and this longing to be healthy from the inside out, to feel good, to enjoy life. But humanity has been so suppressed and beaten down in the opposite direction that they just give up. They just give up. And they're in fear of their body. And they have all these belief structures that have been put in place. And then their body, whatever's going on in your body, all disease, right? And there's a lot of research on it. I'm not just saying things that are off in like ungrounded New Age land, that there's an emotional component to what you are experiencing, right? That through the different subtle layers of our total auric field, our light body, right? And the way it plugs into our physical body, there's things there that need to be healed. And if they don't get addressed, they start to express through our physical body. And people just have this belief. I'm to the point in my life where when anyone wants to talk about like aging, getting old or anything, I'm like, no, that program is not for me. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it because that is not what I am subscribing to. I am here to assist in restoring these bodies to their absolute divine glory and to be able to fully plug our light body in and not just have it as this concept of this energetic field that sits around us that kind of energizes us and we tap into it a little bit, but to really be grounded and embodied. So if we think about our energetic field and we think about all of the different, very common vernacular that is used for the energy body, chakra system, meridian system, the axonal lines, you can see how our bodies are designed to really be able to have this energy running through them. what happens when we start to awaken, well, it happens pretty much anyways, is that things that are sitting in the energetic field and just the pure energy, if we just want to talk about really wanting to bring more energy, more source, that source code in through our cells, right? In through our bodies to feed ourselves. There's a lot of crap that is in the way. And so when we choose to take on this journey of awakening and healing, we have to get all the crap out of the way. And it's emotional, it's ancestral, it's spiritual, it's mental. It's so many levels and layers that it can really seem overwhelming. The beauty is that the better we take care of our physical body and we learn to read and have a relationship with our physical body, the easier we can begin to move through our healing journey and really restoring these bodies, feeling good in them, so that those projects you want to put forward, that ability to really intuitively feel the field around you, you know, not just your own, but everyone else's, and to connect and to tap into what is going on, you know, being led to, should I go here? Does this feel right? Does this not feel right? You know, is now the time to work on this? Is it in the right energy to do this? What does my body desire to eat? What agrees with me? What feels good? What doesn't? All of it to really have this good relationship. I've known a lot of people, I know a lot of people that are very beautiful, angelic humans, just gorgeous, the heart, the energy, amazing. But they've struggled with their physical bodies so much and haven't wanted to do the real deep dive into their physical bodies and restore them, that they're very ungrounded. They're just very ungrounded. And that's great. But to really be effective here, we need to be grounded. And every single one of these people, they're open, third eye open, beautiful. They just spin their wheels. Some of them I've known, you know, 7, 8 years, and they literally haven't gotten a project off the ground, can't change their life circumstances, you know, but they're seeing, you know, seeing all this energy and, you know, communicating and having all these mystical moments, we'll call them, right? But they just don't want to be in the body. They don't want to, because of this what I call like a mind virus, right? This group think that has really inserted itself into the awakened community of, I'm just going to go light body and get out of here. I'm going to drop physical form and I'm going to go. Well, if you came here to be of service, why are you going to run away and leave, right? Or the mothership's going to come and take me away. All these things, they're just terrible. And it comes from a place of, you know, what's been installed is to just not love being human, to not love being in these beautiful bodies that are so amazing. We've only begun to tap into what they are capable of. And if we think about all of the systems that run through and plug into our body, for instance, the chakra system that is directly connected, the 7 chakras in the body, you know, there's other chakras outside of the body, but the 7 that, you know, plug into our physical body, plug in through our glandular structure, right? They literally connect through the chemical processes, through the hormones and into our blood. So we need our hormonal system to be imbalanced. And if you think about how out of balance human hormones have been and how they've done everything they can just to attack that system alone, you can see and feel how much work we have to do. You know, a lot of the chemicals that are put into the world, you can look up, I mean, there's research out there on it. It shows it that they're hormone disruptors. If you look around a lot of the agendas in the world, you can see that there's a lot of imbalance in hormones, right? The water, the things that are just so toxic to our hormonal system alone, without even getting into anything else. That is literally what your chakras, your physical main energy centers that everyone seems to know about, you know, even if you're not like super like, oh my gosh, I'm on this healing journey. Nowadays, it's pretty mainstream, right? So just that as one example, you know, whether it's giving women birth control pills, you know, injections so that you don't get pregnant, right? All of these things that are out there that are disrupting the hormones in the body, the stress and fear. So if you are really in that state all the time of like fight or flight, that's your adrenals. Those are glands. You are plugged in. Your energetic system is trying to move through them and is getting all scattered and distorted, right? Instead of being able to move through and function optimally. So that is just one example. There's our meridian system, right? If you do yoga or have a practice like that, very similar to that is our nadis, right? You see the caduceus, the kundalini energy, how it's representative of, you know, twisting up like this and runs through those channels, and there's a central channel up our body. Again and again and again, you see in ancient cultures and ancient texts, they had an understanding of these energetic systems. And in the world we live in right now, with all the chemical and electronic pollution and how much it's working to degrade those processes and really affect us and affect these bodies and the entire planet, this is why it is so important right now to make a commitment to really begin to understand, learn, and love your body, to heal your body, to clear your body. And it's all layers. It's emotional, it's mental, it's spiritual, and it's physical. Through different exercise modalities, through different techniques, through different ways to cleanse yourself. And when you make the commitment to do it, you will be guided. In this video series, I will be giving you guideposts of things that I know have worked with clientele, things that have worked for myself and my friends, but they're just guideposts, and you have to feel and take what works for you. Because something I learned over all my years of working, 20 years of working with people's bodies in a one-on-one and small group capacity, was that each body is so unique and different with its come from that there is no one set recipe for all. There's generalizations. And of course, there's the idea of, well, we all have a soul, a light body, an energetic system that wants to plug in and run through us. But our soul carries different things with us, right? And the bloodlines and the physicality that we are incarnated into, each carries its own unique compilation of ancestral wounds, genetic expression. And so it's very unique and individualized to each one of us. The programming that's been passed down through the generations. And then we have the general overall groupthink mind viruses that are present as well. So it's really a lot, but it's not hopeless. And we are here to do such a beautiful, what would be the right word? Miraculous mission and job to restore this planet and these bodies. So in the videos ahead, we're going to break each one of these things down and explore them at the emotional, mental, spiritual, and physical levels, and really talk about them. And it is my intention and my prayer for each and every one of you that it will assist you in learning to love your body, work with your body, and really get to know your body and start having that communication and bring things to your awareness that you may know, you may have looked at a different way, or you may not know, that can really help you to heal multi-dimensionally so that you can be the most beautiful, profound expression of that Christed, beautiful, divine source light flowing through this realm. Is there anything else? So I'm thankful that you've been guided to find this channel and to find my work. And I really look forward to assisting each one of you on your beautiful journeys of healing and embodiment and restoration. Thank you for joining me. And I love and appreciate, from my heart to yours, thank you so much for being here and taking up the mantle to do this epic, beautiful work that we are here to do. Thank you. And peace be with you. Namaste.